Hello, this is Jesus Torres, your host of Spooky Towers Tales. And this is my first time ever doing anything of this sort, a podcast, or just trying to start off and see where it lands. I'm going to be pretty much just doing anything paranormal, anything having to deal with the paranormal. Anything I find fascinating, intriguing, as in even extraterrestrials, any kind of haunted houses, haunted, you name it, objects. I just find the paranormal fascinating. I grew up in a haunted house. A lot of weird stuff happened to me, and I'll get to that here shortly. I've just always been so fascinated, not the one to be scared really of ghosts or aliens or anything. There's nothing that really spooks me, and I'm just trying to introduce myself. Live here in Oklahoma City. Um, Born and raised, and just a lot of weird stuff had occurred to me growing up, and not just occurrences that I experiences, but my family is big time believers of the paranormal. My mom, my grandma, all everybody pretty much in my family has had a paranormal experience, and I don't know of a family member that is a skeptic at this point, considering all their experiences and what they've seen throughout their childhood as well. So I guess it just kind of runs in the family, in a sense. And I guess I'll get to it. I'll start off with a story that I posted on a local group called Oklahoma Ghost Stories. Um, it's about I don't want to necessarily call it an entity. It's more like a witch that can animorph into an owl, if you want to call it that. Well, it's called a lechuza. That's the Spanish word for witch that can transform into an owl or appears to be an owl. I posted this story about a week ago on this group. We got a lot of people really interested in it. Got a lot of comments. People had their own experiences with owls and birds in general. I would read some of their comments. Maybe I'll do that towards the end of this episode. This is episode 1, season 1. By the way, I should mention, in case there's more episodes, more seasons to come, and hopefully there are. So this is about witch lady turns into an owl lechuza. So the story goes, I was maybe around 7 years old, I want to say. We lived in this really creepy house. I don't really remember too much, but what I do remember was always pretty creepy. I was never afraid as a kid. I just grew up just getting used to these things. And this is pretty much the start of it. This is pretty much the first thing I can really remember that happened. So that's why I'm talking about it first on this first episode. So it was a Lechuza Encounter. which that can take form of an owl. They mimic people's voices. They have an eerie laugh and they whistle. I did manage to see this Lechuza. Just remember my family making a lot of commotion, and I was inside just minding my own business, watching cartoons like any 5, 7 year old would do. Probably, I don't know, Scooby Doo, Looney Tunes, who knows? It was 10 p.m., 11, 12 a.m. I don't really remember the time. I just know it was late at night, and dog barking and people yelling, screaming, family, friends, everybody was in the backyard, had a big, massive backyard. Well, we had this big tree. I don't know what kind of tree it was, to be honest. Could be an oak, a nut tree. I know we had a pear tree back there, but that wasn't the tree where this Lechuza was perched on top of. I remember them yelling. I remember hearing whistling. Like, I'm sorry if this sounds terrible, but this is pretty much the whistling that it sounded like. Like, I heard it clear as day. It was pretty freaky because it was like it echoed. It was loud, and my dog just kept barking. I was inside, but the back door was pretty much kind of open to where you could really hear a lot of what was going on. I got up, curious. I'm like, what's going on? I need to find out what is going on. I go back there, family, just get the shotgun, do this, do that. It's a Lechuza. And I just ask, I'm like, Mom, what's going on? Like, and my mom's like, get back inside. My dog just is barking. We had a big, massive Rottweiler, probably 80, 100 pounds. Massive dog just kept barking at this thing that was up there. So I saw it up there. I saw it perched up there. I see this thing, this black figure, this bird-looking thing, just up there. And well, me being a kid, I didn't really know what to make out of it. I just heard it laughing and saying words in Spanish. I really forgot what it was saying. I know it was speaking not very clearly, but it was really weird. It gives me the chills right now, kind of talking about it. Not so much because it was I was a kid, it was something that just I didn't know what to make out of. Like, I didn't know. Like, I would stay up real late at night, like way past my bedtime. I'm talking 1 a.m., 2 a.m. on a school night, watching Adult Swim. And so I was never afraid of the dark, never just afraid to be on my own. It was just me and my little sister. She's 3 years younger than me. I just don't remember being afraid of anything. So seeing this thing, I didn't know what to make out of. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it was just a bird, a big, massive parrot. Parrots, they mimic people's voices. So I don't know. I just know my dog was trying to climb the tree, big Rottweiler, massive, trying to climb the tree, just growling and barking so aggressively. And my family got a shotgun, started shooting at it, and I just saw it fly away. It flew, and who knows where it went. I don't know where it went. It just flew into the pitch black sky, and that was that. Only encounter I've had of a Lechuza like that. I mean, there are other stories I'll mention in some other episodes, but yeah. I mean, I'm a kid again. Don't know what to make out of it. I just hear my family and the family friends just saying Lechuza, Lechuza. Oh, it was a Lechuza, you know. Um, and it just after that, I just so many other things started to happen around that house. But again, I'm saving those stories for another episode. I have plenty of stories. Hopefully, I can share other people's stories. Hopefully, I can get people to come and tell me about their own experiences here on this podcast. I would love to have this this podcast grow. Spooky Towers Tales. I'm all new to this. I kind of nervous about it, but here I am doing it, and so far I'm liking it. I bought this mic um, from Amazon. I forgot the brand. I don't want to promote anything or anybody right now, but yeah, just it's just fascinating how people have encountered things like with owls. There's this lady who commented. I'll just I'll just call her by her first name, Beth. She says, about 2 months ago, I was jogging at a track with my 6-year-old son. I got a feeling someone was watching us. It was dark. Suddenly, I felt something, and there was an owl flying past. I ignored it. As we made another round, we were in the same place. I saw the owl and I heard whistling. I hoped my son didn't hear because it gave me a bad feeling. But he ran towards me and said he was scared. There was definitely something there. We left right after that. Um, so yeah, owls can be, I guess, pretty spooky. So here's another lady, Deanne. She says, I have heard of these and saw a paranormal caught on camera episode about it. But I believe that was in Mexico. Strange hearing about it in Oklahoma though. But I guess it would make sense with more Hispanic people coming into the state. And yeah, and I replied back, I said, I have a backstory behind why it happened. This was one of my many encounters we experienced living in this house. And I will try to share as many stories as I can. But I was about 5 years old when I had my first paranormal experience. And David says, I grew up in Mexico and this was a popular urban legend, but never actually seen one. And I commented back, replying, my family has actually seen a few of them here in Oklahoma and in Mexico. Yeah, it's a true urban legend, just like La Llorona. And I have a story to tell about her as well. If anybody is familiar with La Llorona, you already know I have a couple of stories about her. And he replied back, David, saying, I'm sure it's real. I heard so many stories and was always fascinated by them. I'd love to hear your Llorona story. My mom has shared a lot of paranormal stories with me, and I guess that's why I love everything paranormal. And Rebecca asked, what is La Llorona? And I replied to her, to Rebecca, saying, there's several stories about her from all parts of the world, but it translates to the weeping woman, about a woman who committed two of the biggest sins, killed her children, and don't know if it was one or two of them, and committed suicide after doing so. She's a restless soul that weeps for her children, dressed in all white, and apparently she has made her way up here in Oklahoma. Again, I have a story about her, a couple of them. Here's Alicia with her story. It's kind of a long one, but it's worth hearing about it. She says, in the late 80s, early 90s, My close friends and I were running around on the back roads around Keystone Lake in the Bears Glen and Washington Irving area. Being teenagers and up to no good, example, TPing houses, egging frenemies' cars, and leaving funny messages written in slices of bread on their front yards, we were being loud and enjoying our practical joke victories. We were driving back towards the house, and by this time it must have been about 2 a.m., and we were on some very dark and secluded country roads, and all us kids go dead quiet at the same time. I know this happens time to time, but it's a bit shocking when four super annoying teenagers stop caterwauling and belly laughing all at the same time for no reason. We all went dead, silent, and just looked at each other with some unknown question hanging in the air. Gave each other the "be quiet, something isn't right here, look." If you've had that feeling, you know what I'm talking about. My friend's mom was driving and noticed we got quiet, and she's like, "Thank God, it's hard to drive with all that noise." No one said a word. She looked back at us, and still nothing. So she slowed down the car to a stop in the middle of this country road. When she put the car in park, she turned to look us all in the faces to see what the problem was. But there wasn't anything to tell her other than, "It feels weird here." Of course, she thought we were just being our stupid teenage selves, rolled her eyes, and turned back around to start driving home. As she started the car, with all of us still sitting in silence, we all looked out the windshield and saw a large bird-like thing land directly in the middle of the road, right in front of our parked car, just as the edge of where the headlights reached. I didn't think much about it, and only had enough time to think, "It'll move when we start to roll forward." Then I got a better look at it. It was huge, shaped like an owl, but as big as a vulture, not a turkey vulture, which are common, but the size of a condor or large. It was looking behind its shoulder, then turned its head towards us like only an owl can do. Its eyes caught our headlights and lit up just as most nocturnal animals' eyes, and then it stretched out its wings. Now this thing was dead middle of the road, straddling the center double lines, with each of its talon feet straddling at least 6 inches over each side of these lines. Its wingspan on this 2-lane road stretched side to side. I mean, curb to curb, as in, if it had been tall enough, it could have fit a car under each wing. It may have been 4 feet tall. It was hard to tell because it happened so fast. Before I could get a better look, it tilted its head skywards and took off. It was kind of slow at first, like a bat trying to catch air in its wings. And to be honest, in that lightning, I'm not sure if it was brown, dark brown, or black. All I did know was that I was done for the night and we needed to go home. And she asked, "Any ideas of what that could have been, animal or cryptid?" I have a degree in biology, have volunteered at the zoo, rehabilitated wildlife, ran an animal shelter and a local SPCA. So I'm pretty comfortable with animals and have a good base knowledge of our local Oklahoma wildlife, but I've been at a loss on this one for decades. I replied back to her saying, "Sounds like it could have been maybe a witch. I mean, this was at 2 a.m., which is witching hours, 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. to be exact. For any kind of bird to just perch itself in the middle of the road is strange all on its own, but that's what I can say." If any of y'all listening know or seen anything similar to a Lechuza or what Alicia witnessed, please give me some feedback, comment. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen something like that. I saw similar with the Lechuza. I didn't see talons on the Lechuza. I just saw like I don't. It's like those demons from Harry Potter, the ones where they're playing Quidditch and they steal their souls. That's what it kind of looked like. The Lechuza I saw, just like wearing a robe, a cape. I don't know. It was weird, but here's William with his story. He says, Native American folklore says that owls are a bad omen or bad luck. Mom always told me that if I were to have one cross my path, I needed to turn around and go back to the way I came. And I replied back saying, same in the Hispanic culture. Melinda replied also saying, if they hoot in your backyard, someone is going to die. They are there to let you know. Also, my other tribe has a name for them, like Stajinis, and it is owls with human faces. I don't do owls. Um, and that's pretty much it for the comments that I got in my post. But yeah, if y'all had any experiences with creepy owls, anything, just anything in general with paranormal, I would love to hear about it. And I will be making another episode. It is Wednesday, October 26, 2021 right now. I don't know when this will get uploaded. Don't know what date it'll be by the time it gets uploaded, but hopefully it makes its way to YouTube, and then I don't know if I can be able to reach some type of maybe a playlist like an iHeart or something, but right now I'm just focused on YouTube. I'll try to expand from there, see what I can do. But yeah, that was my story, and I'm glad I could share other people's experiences. I have a lot more personal experiences from other people, from friends, family. I'll be talking about aliens. I'll be talking about the Chernobyl explosion. I'll be talking about anything I find interesting that people don't like to accept, like, skeptics or non-believers that don't like to believe that there's other things outside of just us, the human race, and just the animals we see on a daily basis. There's more to this world. I mean, there's so much we haven't seen and that cannot be seen with the naked eye. So who knows what all is lurking. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. I'm glad y'all took the time to hear, and I appreciate any feedback, any of y'all's personal stories. Y'all don't mind sharing, let me know. Right now I'm just sipping some coffee, drinking drinking pumpkin pie coffee, the creamer's pumpkin pie, and eating some pumpkin spice cookies. I'm already on my third one. So yeah, that's that. Shout out to my friend Leanna, who seemed really hyped about me doing this going on forward. Other people as well that seemed hyped about me doing the podcast as well, from the local Oklahoma Ghost Stories group. Trying to look for the names. I apologize. Give me just a moment. So we got Rebecca also wanted me to do this, go forward with a podcast, and Eve as well. So shout out to Leanna, Rebecca, and Eve. I'm here doing it, and hopefully y'all give it a listen. I'll be uploading this to YouTube and sharing it on social media. Don't know exactly what Facebook. I don't know what else. YouTube, and I don't really use social media like that. But I might start, considering I'm doing this podcast, and try to expand and go from there. But thank y'all again. Y'all have a great day, and thank y'all for listening. And I'm out. Thank y'all for listening to Spooky Towers Tales with your host, Jesus Torres. Bye bye.